Hey guys, it's Miss Cinderlin, and I'm back with Drita, my homegirl. Okay, Drita, my homegirl. Okay, so let's do a little refresher. This book is about, we've learned about, chapter 1 was titled Drita. Learned about Drita. Drita is from Albania. She's from a country there called Kosovo. And her dad moved over first. So remember when we talked about immigrants, we talked about how one person in the family might come first, then the rest of the family will come later once they get a job and get some money and that kind of thing. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so Drita's dad moved over to New York and got a job, found them an apartment, got them some stuff, and then once he was kind of settled, he was like, y'all come over. So then Drita and her mom and her brother and her grandma, they all moved to New York. Well, whenever they were in their country, in Albania, her dad had a really good job. He was an engineer. Like, he made really good money, and they, had a nice house and nice things. But then they still wanted to move to America because there was a lot going on in their country that wasn't really safe. So they wanted to move somewhere safe, like America, where they have all this freedom, right? So they move, and they get there, and the mom's like, I'm sorry. This is where we're going to live? The apartment wasn't very nice. Things were falling off the walls. Their furniture wasn't very nice. And the mom walks in, she's like, where did you get this stuff? And he's like, someone gave it to us. It was a gift. Isn't that so nice? She was like, I guess. And then she was just looking around. She was like, our life was so much better where we were from. Like, this is not what I expected living in America. So then she was really sad. So the mom just laid in bed all day because she was depressed. And sometimes when you're really sad or you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. You just want to lay there and sleep and not think about it. So that's kind of what her mom's doing. That's what she's going through. Her mom's really sad. But she's still pretty excited because she gets to try out a new school and be in a new place. Her dad's a taxi driver, so he's learning a lot about New York and where to go and what to see. So, taxi driver, that's a decent job. He's not going to make as much money being a taxi driver as he did being an engineer, but it's still a good job. Then in chapter 2, it was titled Maxie. We got to meet our other character. Remember, it's 2 girls. And we learned about Maxie. Maxie lives with her dad and her grandma. And we find out that her mom died whenever she was 7. So she's really sad about that, which I would be really sad too. My mom's my best friend. But, so she's eating breakfast and she's talking to her dad. And her dad's like, so, I have this friend I want you to meet. And Maxie's like, by friend, you mean girlfriend. Okay. Do you think Drita wants to meet her dad's girlfriend? No, she does not want to meet her dad's girlfriend. She's like, she's got a son. Like, y'all can hang out. And she's like, no. And her dad tells her this, and she's like, she's just mad. So then she goes to her room. She's like, I'm not going to get ready for school. I'm just going to play with my hamster and look for my toe socks. So then she's like, she gets her hamster out. She's playing with her hamster. The hamster shoots under her bed. So then she's trying to get her hamster out from under the bed. She ends up finding her other sock. Then she gets her hamster out, and then she's just laying on her bed, playing with her hamster, talking to him. And her dad and grandma are like, Maxie, it's time for school. Let's go. And she's like, So they go into her room, and she's laying in her bed. And they're like, what are you doing? She's like, chilling. And they're like, get up, it's time to go to school. And she's like, okay. So then she's getting up and she's about to go to school. Okay? That's what we learned so far. Now, I'm in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is titled Drita. So who do we think is going to be talking in this chapter? Drita. Okay? So let's read about Drita. Hurry, Drita, says my father. We don't want to be late. I jump into the front seat of the cab. Taxi cab, taxi car, same thing. After too many days of cleaning and other chores, today I am finally going to my new school, PS 18 of Brooklyn. Okay, so a bunch of schools in New York, their names are PS and then a number. Our schools aren't like that, but theirs are. So she's going to go to PS 18 of Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the city in New York that they live in. On the street, a lady with a yellow scarf on her head pushes her baby in a stroller. A boy flies by on a silver motorcycle. We pass a bazaar, and I see so many stores. Okay, a bazaar is when there's like a bunch of things that you can go buy. A bunch of different types of things. So it could be like food or clothes, things like that, okay? So they pass a bazaar. And I see so many stores all selling different things, some waving colorful shirts and dresses from the windows like flags, others growing buckets of brooms and mops, still others with fruits and vegetables piled in mountains. Okay, are they really piled in mountains? No, it just means that they're tall. It seems strange to me that just 2 days ago, when my father took me to this market, I thought it was wrong to stare. But now, after 3 days in this country, I know the opposite is true. In America, there are so many colors, you must look at everything twice. Ooh, she likes the colors. Look out! American girl going to school, my father jokes and gives the horn a push. He's honking the horn. I'm so happy. I kick my feet against the front of the cab. My new American sneakers light up. Ooh, so she's got those light up shoes. My father is right. Even before we came to this country, everyone says I am already like an American girl. That's because I love everything about America. American films, those are like movies. American TV, even American sports. Basketball is my favorite. Oh, does that sound familiar? And this was my special surprise when I woke up today. My father gives me a gift of some new basketball shoes with lights on the bottom. Now I can be like the other students, wearing stylish clothing and playing sports every day. My father drives and drives around the streets. Finally, he stops in front of a tall building. Look, Drita, my father says, your new school. When I imagine my school in my head, I'm always seeing a place like on my favorite TV show, Saved by the Bell. Okay, Saved by the Bell was like a really cool show kind of a long time ago, so y'all probably haven't heard of it. But it was a really cool show, and it was like kids that went to school, okay? But my school does not have red bricks and a white roof like Bayside High. That's the name of the school in Saved by the Bell. Instead, it is plain gray with a park in front. My father stops the car and we get out. Then we hear a voice calling, "Hello, Adim," says a voice. I see a woman hurrying to meet us. She is older than Nini, but younger than my Gishi. Nini is her mom. Her Gish is her grandma. She has a round, plain face, and she is wearing a flowered dress. My friend, says my father, holding out his hand. Miss Murphy, this is my daughter Drita. Drita, this is Miss Murphy. She works for a human rights organization that helped us leave Kosovo. She is going to help you too, by going to the new school and filling out forms. How are you? Miss Murphy says in Albanian. I'm well, I say back, trying not to laugh. It is so strange to me to notice that she speaks our language with an American accent. Are you ready for your first day, Drita? She says. Oh, Miss Murphy, Drita has been ready since she was born, my father laughs, and then he gets back into his taxi cab. Wait, Baba! That means Dad. Aren't you coming? I ask him. Drita, I must return the cab to the garage, he says. I drove all night, and if I don't get back to the garage by 9 o'clock, they charge me more. You mean I have to go all alone? I ask him. I don't mean to show my father I am afraid, but I can't help myself. Now, instead of feeling happy about going to a new school, for one moment, I think I might cry. Oh, now she's getting nervous. You won't be alone. Miss Murphy is going with you, he says. Come, Drita, Miss Murphy says. You can take my hand if you want. My father looks at me. In his face is a question. Are you a grown-up girl or a baby like Hashim? That's her little brother. He seems to ask. Well, asked Miss Murphy, waiting. No, thank you, I said. I am already 10 years old. My father hugs me tight. Your mother will pick you up from school. Have a good day, he says. Miss Murphy and I walk up the stairs to the school. Inside the building, a lady police officer points to a doorway, and we go inside to the school office. Miss Murphy talks to a lady with red hair and a long gold chain around her neck. That must be like Miss Monk at our school. All around the room, people are coming and are going, and there's lots of noise from a copying machine and many telephones. Then someone says my name. A large man is walking over to us. He smiles at me and shakes my hand. His face is friendly. Drita, Miss Murphy says in Albanian. This is Mr. Littman. He is the principal of the school. He will take you to your new class. Ooh, principals take new kids to their class? That's interesting. I'm so excited when I hear these words that my heart starts banging inside me like a drum. Ooh, she's comparing her heart to a drum and said like. So if we have the word like and you're comparing two things, that's called a what? Simile. A simile compares two things and uses the word like. So she compared her heart to a drum. It's beating so fast it sounds like a drum. That's a simile. She's comparing the two. I walk with Mr. Lippman down a long hallway with voices and footsteps echoing everywhere. Then we stop at a door. A young, pretty woman is standing there. I know just who she is. Miss Salvedo, my teacher says, pointing to herself. I will tell you what is strange for an Albanian person like me in an American school. It is not the largeness of my school, bigger than even the National Library in Pristina. So she's about to tell us what she thinks is the weirdest part about being in an American school. She said it's not how big it is, even though it's like the biggest thing she's ever seen. It is not the classrooms with children's stories and pictures and artwork everywhere. Okay, so it's not the classrooms. It's not even the new teacher, who is young and pretty instead of old and grumpy like Mr. Shabini at home. So it's not how big it is. It's not about the classroom and the decorations. It's not about her new cool teacher. In Albania, there's a wall. On one side are the Serbian children and their teacher, also Serbian. On the other side, that is where we Muslim children sit with Mr. Shabini, our teacher. Okay, so I want you all to imagine our classroom, and I want you to imagine a big wall in the middle. Okay, so like my class would be on one side, and like Miss Golden's class will be on the other side, and we would just have a wall in between us in our classroom. That would be so weird, right? But if they do theirs based off religion, like if you're a Serbian and you believe what Serbians believe, then you're on this side of the classroom and this side of the wall. And then if you're a Muslim, you're on this side of the wall. Okay, so they do it based off what they believe in. Do we do that? No, we can all be in the same room. It doesn't matter what we believe in or what we look like. We welcome everybody, right? Yeah, that's weird. I did not know that they did that in Albanian schools. That's interesting. When we learn to read, we have separate books. When we sing, we know different songs. We speak our language, not theirs. We even use separate toilets when we have to go to the bathroom. Okay, so you know like how all the girls use the same bathroom and then all the boys in our hallway use the same bathroom? If it would be like Miss Enderlin's class gets one bathroom and Miss Golden's class gets a different bathroom. Isn't that insane? Yeah, that's crazy. When I first step into my American classroom, I see all the faces here have different skin and different eyes and different hair from each other. But they are all sitting in one room with no wall. And they are all looking at me. Miss Salvedo says something to them, and I hear my name. I know she is telling them who I am. I say the words in English, just like my father teaches me. My name is Drita Chapter. I say, I am here. But in my head, I speak in my language too. And that's it for chapter 3. So all we know, so what did we learn in chapter 3? We learned that Drita went to school. Who took Drita to school? Her dad. In his what? Taxi cab. And then when they got to the school, who's that lady that came to help them out with the papers? Who? Miss Murphy. Okay, Miss Murphy came in. And she took Drita into school. Did her dad go with her? No. Just Miss Murphy. She walks in, she meets the secretary, and she meets the principal, Mr. Lippman. And then what does he do with her? Takes her to go meet her new teacher. What's her teacher's name? Miss Salvedo. Miss Salvedo. Oh, I kind of like that name. She says she's young and pretty. So I think she might be a little bit excited there. And then she tells us about what her classroom was like in Albania. And that the thing that surprises her the most is that it's all these different kinds of kids all in one room and there's not a wall. That's crazy, right? Can you imagine there being a wall in the middle of our classroom? I really can't. That just shocks me. Okay. And then she walked in and she said, I'm here. So the only thing that she said in English is her name and I am here. That's all that she said. That's all that her classmates and teacher understand that she says so far. Kind of crazy, right? Can you imagine someone coming into our classroom and not knowing what we're saying and not knowing how to talk to us? That's pretty crazy, right? How would you feel if that was you? If you walked in and nobody could understand anything that you've said, how would that make you feel? Are you kind of nervous? Maybe a little bit sad? Maybe excited because it's a new school and maybe I can make new friends, but how am I going to make friends if I can't talk to them? I don't know. How do y'all feel? What do y'all think is going to happen? What you think about it? Okay. After you think about it, once you get on your Google Doc, I want you to answer the questions. Okay? And then if you forget some of the answers, you can go back and watch this video.